Good evening. This is QTV News coming to you live from our studios on Kairaba Avenue, and I am Asma Uba. Thanks for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. At a day-long consultation organized by the Ministry of Justice in partnership with International IDEA, religious and political party leaders on Monday expressed their support for government efforts to reintroduce the draft constitution. The Children's National Assembly of the Gambia on Saturday convened its inaugural national session to promote children's involvement in leadership and amplify their voices. In international news, the ECOWAS Parliament under Speaker Sidi Mohamed Tunis set up a mediation committee on Saturday that is to visit Niger in a bid to find a lasting solution to the crisis. In sports news, Iceland defeated 5 Johnson in the opener of the Sinchu Surrey Sports Development Association football tournament on Saturday at the community football field. Those were the main headlines. Now the news in detail. Thanks for staying with us. At a day-long consultation organized by the Ministry of Justice in partnership with International IDEA, religious and political party leaders on Monday expressed their support for government efforts to reintroduce the draft constitution. Answana Sonyasi report.
Following the end of the electoral cycle, the government, through its partners, including International IDEA, met with stakeholders to get a consensus to ensure the successful reintroduction of the draft and possibly a new constitution. Spearheading this consultation effort are renowned diplomat Mohammed Ibn Chambers and Dr. Robert Saram, IDEA's Regional Director for African and West Asia. They emphasized the need for consensus and urged parties to unite in the national interest, adding that Gambia needs a new constitution that will solidify the country's democracy.
Wide consultation, deep consultation is required. And so when this process stalled, International IDEA came up with facilitation so that you, the important and key political actors, political leaders in the Gambia, could be enabled to talk to each other, to narrow the gaps and hopefully even reach consensus.
The draft that you have already almost done a lot of conversation and set a very firm foundation. There may be a few things you want to tweak, but it's better to tweak and come up with a product that you can say, let's use this for the next 10 years. Let's use this for the next 20 years. And then you see how to build on that framework.
Political party leaders Usainu Dabo of the UDP, Halifa Saleh of DOI, and Sidin Jai of NPP, among others, expressed a willingness to participate in the process and emphasized the need for a new constitution. They also called for consensus among stakeholders.
Since 1996, my party has been a fervent crusader for a better constitution for the Gambia. And we are still committed to that, constitution that is fit to govern the people of the Gambia. We don't want to continue to be governed by a constitution that has been mutilated over years.
But ultimately, we should come and agree on two things. On what the content is ultimately going to be that will come as a bill to the National Assembly, and the procedure. And the procedure is in fact more vital, because there's no provision in the Constitution that talks about wholesale modification, wholesale promulgation of a constitution.
When we have various religious leaders and eminent persons, that's Islam and Christianity, and as well as all political parties, to dialogue, discourse, and put forward the interests of the country, agree to disagree, at the end of the day come up with a consensus.
Human rights activist Fatou Jan Senghor also called on stakeholders to unite and put the country's interests first by amicably addressing their differences on the draft constitution. Several others, including the National Assembly's minority leader, Honorable Alaji Dabo, Rafi Diab of the Citizens Alliance, Honorable Alaji Mbow of the NRP, and religious leaders, Alaji Esa Dabo, President of the Islamic Council, and Bishop Bani Manga, all spoke of the importance of the exercise and the need for a new constitution. International Ideas is known for its support and advocacy work in assisting governments around the world to strengthen democracy and electoral systems. It is hoped that these talks will unite stakeholders in a bid to usher in the much-anticipated new constitution. Ansmane Sonyasi for KTV News.
The Children's National Assembly of the Gambia convened its inaugural national session to promote children's involvement in leadership and amplify their voices. The gathering also marked the official endorsement of the Accelerate Action Towards the Gambia We Want call to action paper. Lena Igwenyiba has more.
National Youth Council and National Assembly of the Gambia, in collaboration with UNICEF Gambia, held the first ordinary session of the second Children's National Assembly, a non-statutory platform for children and adolescents to discuss issues affecting them. The proceedings commenced with the election of its speaker. The contender were Sini Danjo, Lamin Jao and Awa Jallo. Lamin Jao from the Central River region was sworn in as the speaker. In his role as SINAG speaker, Lamin Jao expressed gratitude for his election and addressed his fellow parliamentarians.
It is a great honor to be elected as Speaker of this Assembly, although with a great responsibility, of course, I am aware. I wish to congratulate all of you honorable members for being part of this Assembly, because it is a unique opportunity and privilege for us to be here and serve our dear nation. I look forward to be working with all of you in advance to the cause of all children in the Gambia.
C.D. Eskenjai, the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, and Ahmad Ganho, UNICEF the Gambia's Deputy Representative, emphasized the countless potential children possess and the significance of nurturing them from an early age.
As leaders of today, it behoves on all of us to continue to support, to mold, train, and guide children and youth. For us, it is our ardent responsibility to educate this nation to responsible and responsive citizens.
Hope in the promise of a better tomorrow, where every child can survive, thrive, and reach their full potential. Hope in a society that puts children first. Your presence here today is also a testament to our shared commitment to support your right to participation.
Bakari Baji, the Minister of Youth and Sports, highlighted the advocacy priorities for the children during their tenure.
For this term, you're focusing on the key issues that are affecting our society. One of such is climate issues, climate change in general terms, HIV and AIDS, drug use, and other social vices. It is our hope that you would be able to do maximal impact in raising awareness among your fellow children and among your fellow young people.
Fatou Kinte, the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, expressed delight at the gender-sensitive composition of SINAG, noting that females hold the majority of seats.
I'm especially proud because the majority are female. I have no doubt that in the many years to come, we'll have more females in the National Assembly. This is one thing we have been advocating for the past 30 to 34 years, and it's gradually coming into reality.
Fatoumata Barbaro, the First Lady of the Gambia, pledged her unwavering commitment to enhancing the well-being of Gambian children.
As the First Lady and mother of all children in the Gambia, I am committed to the protection and promotion of children in the country. My office and foundation will work closely with the National Assembly, the Gambia, to promote and advocate the welfare of all children.
Following comprehensive discussions, the 105 elected members of the Children National Assembly voted unanimously to adopt the Accelerate Action Towards the Gambia We Want call to action paper, which was presented to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare for implementation. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyiba.
Now, to commemorate International Youth Day, Banjul Youth for Diplomacy, a modern UN flagship program consisting of young Gambian diplomacy advocates, organized a national dialogue on Saturday, which was attended by youth leaders, activists, representatives of various UN systems in the Gambia, and senior government officials. Ansumane Sonyasi again.
The national dialogue brought together stakeholders to celebrate youths, identify challenges affecting their growth, contribute to national development, and create platforms that guarantee young people limitless opportunities. International Youth Day was earmarked by the UN to highlight the achievements of young people around the world. Addressing participants, Aissatou Seka, Conference Director of Banjul Youth for Diplomacy, paid tribute to Gambian youths for their contribution to national development and urged stakeholders, particularly the government, to create more opportunities for them.
After going out there and seeing young people simulating and changing the approach of young people of the Gambia, and not only the Gambia, but seeing young people out there, how they approach their leaders, how they approach the authorities, we feel it's high time for us young people to change our approach and be diplomats.
Bakari Baji, the Minister for Youth and Sports, who also deputized for the Vice President, and Babukar Ojuf, the Minister for Trade, Regional Integration and Employment, underscored the crucial role young people play in the advancement of the country. And while they recognized the need for more support, they gave assurances of government's resolve to provide the enabling environment and conditions for young people to thrive and contribute meaningfully to society.
The Banjul Youth Diplomacy Conference is an organization that is recognized by the ministry and by the government to have been doing activities that are meant to equip our young people with knowledge and skills. But they have also been doing well in mobilizing young people to participate in events both in country and outside. And these are events that are helpful in positioning the Gambia as a country that respects its young people and as a country that adores and will continue to support.
I have set up a committee we call the National Technical Committee on Employment. And we'll be launching it maybe before the end of September. We are constituting it. Obviously, the youth will be sitting on that committee. That committee will be advising me on employment matters. It will be headed by civil society organizations. It will be chaired by a civil society member. So no government worker or civil servant will serve in that committee. The committee is exclusively going to be the private sector and so civil society advising the minister on how to deal with the challenge of unemployment and underemployment.
There were several other speakers and presentations on various topics such as young people and politics, Tibet, climate change, amongst others. Banjul Youth for Diplomacy aims to create a platform for meaningful dialogue between young people and duty bearers. And while the Gambia prepares to host the next international convergence of youths from all UN member states in February next year, participants shared recommendations with organizers in the hope that authorities will consider them.
That story by Ansumane Sonyasi takes us to a commercial break, but when we return, we have more local, international, as well as sports news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
Modu came in to buy some bathroom floor tile, but once he laid eyes on our basins, he fell in love with a stunning basin and with a breathtaking faucet. With a brand new mirror too, at a bargaining price.
So, I got a bathtub too.
Oh yes, he picked up a bathtub too.
It's Batty Days time at Batty Mats. Enjoy exceptional discounts up to 70% on all our product families. From March 5th to 19th, you're going to splurge. Batty Mats, everything for construction, from foundation to finishing.
In today's fast-paced digital world, staying ahead of the competition requires the latest technologies and skills. That's where QIT comes in. Our programs include Certificate in IT, Diploma and Advanced Diploma in Microsoft Office Applications, Cisco A+, Graphics Design, Database Administration, Systems Administration, HRM, Business Management, and Marketing. We have a range of internationally certified online courses. Our special weekend classes provide the flexibility you need as a working professional. We offer specialized IT training to corporate institutions at our state-of-the-art conference room or at a location of your choice. Our affordable facilities are also available for rental with free and fast internet. Call us at 3100918 or 3800918 to start your journey today. QIT, turning your potential into credentials.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV News, and I am Asma Uba. Now, the Talending Home Red Cross Link organized a day-long sensitization training over the weekend on disaster risk reduction on their volunteers and community members at Talending Community Center. Julden Jai has the rest of that story.
The training aims to equip volunteers and community members with essential knowledge, skills and resources to respond effectively to disasters. Over the years, Talending has been one of the disaster zones, especially during the rainy season, and many families had lost their homes, livestock and properties to floods. Sajo Sambu, Talending Home Red Cross Link, spoke of the importance of the training.
When there is disaster, community members don't know how to act. What are they going to do? They are going to call on the volunteers to come over. But if we train the community members, they know what to do. Even before the arrival of the Red Cross volunteers, they will be able to do something. And this is what brought about this important training, the disaster management training. And it's one of the most fundamental activities of Talending Home Red Cross Link for the past 5 years. Most of our recognitions will come through this particular training, because so many stakeholders were invited to take part in this training, because they know the importance attached to it.
Omar Dabo, a paramedic officer with the Gambia Fire and Rescue Service, says they are always on standby to respond to disasters.
Our men are all over across the country to respond to any disaster called from individual or from the Red Cross Society. So, as I said, right now we are in the tip of rainy season, and we are expecting more rains to come and more floods to happen. So our doors are open. Our doors are widely open. 24 hours we are working to anyone who will call us to respond to any disasters, including floods or any other things. Our emergency number is 118. That's our emergency line. I think everybody can get that at the back of your mind, or at the fingertip of your mind. 118. When you call it, it doesn't cost you anything. It's free.
Mr. Dabo urged the authorities to conduct frequent training for the community to better tackle disasters and disaster-related issues. Rohi M. Kagbo, chairperson of the Kanifing Municipal Red Cross branch, called on the Red Cross volunteers to be professional and be empathetic in discharging their duties.
Being trained on disaster is paramount, but protecting yourself also is number one. Gambia Red Cross have lost a handful of volunteers during saving lives in past years. Some of you might know some incidents that we lose volunteers. Some of you are new, maybe you don't hear about it. But with this training, you will be taught on different issues. Have to first save yourself before trying to save others. It's very good to save others, but you have to protect yourself first. So I will implore all of you to take this training very seriously.
The Gambia Red Cross Society has been providing various humanitarian services to communities, including cleaning exercises, first aid training and delivery, blood donation, bed net distribution, community sensitization on health and safety issues, among other interventions. For QTV News, I am Julden Jai.
That story by Julden Jai takes us to international news. At its virtual extraordinary session on Saturday on the political situation in Niger, the ECOWAS Parliament, under the Speaker, Sidi Mohamed Tunis, set up a mediation committee that is to visit Niger in a bid to find a lasting solution to the crisis. Aliou Cisse monitored this session, and this is his report.
The committee is headed by Honorable Ahmed Idris Wase, First Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, and includes Honorable Muminatu Ibrahim, Third Deputy Speaker, Honorable Ajasatu Kamara Pinto, Fourth Deputy Speaker, Honorable Edwin Melvin Snojinio, Liberia, Honorable Fatima Tanjai, the Gambia, Honorable Hurey Sar, Senegal, Honorable Dr. Veronica Kadisise, Sierra Leone, Honorable Mohamed Alindum, Nigeria, Honorable Emmanuel Kwasi Bezra, Ghana, Honorable Haf Aka, Cote d'Ivoire, Honorable Orlando Pereira Jas, Cabo Verde, and Honorable Nasiru Bako Arifari, Benin. The committee is also expecting to meet Bola Tinubu, chair of the ECOWAS authority, before their subsequent visit to Niger. It is unclear when the committee will visit Niamey and whether they will be opportune to meet the junta leader. The session comes barely 2 days after the ECOWAS leaders called for the activation of the ECOWAS standby force for deployment to Niger to restore constitutional order following the overthrow of President Mohamed Bazoum by the Presidential Guards led by Abdrahman Chiani on 26 July. During long hours of discussion, the ECOWAS parliamentarians were divided over the decision to use military intervention in Niger. Most of them suggested diplomacy over military intervention and called for ease of sanctions, as it is the people who are suffering. They suggested the sanctions be limited to the junta. Honorable Idris Wase of Nigeria and first Deputy Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament believed any war in Niger will have a negative impact on Nigeria, which shares a 1,600-kilometer long border with Niger. Residents in northern Nigeria have come out onto the streets to protest against military intervention. As part of the sanctions, Nigeria has cut off the electricity supply to Niger, which Senator Alindum, a member of the ECOWAS Parliament from Nigeria, condemned, adding that any military deployment to Niger by Nigeria without parliamentary approval is against the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Honorable Bilaji Tunkara of the Gambia said there is a need for a bold step to bring an end to military coup in the sub-region, saying he supports the use of force if dialogue fails. In a separate development, the junta has now agreed to dialogue with the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Governments following a meeting with religious leaders from northern Nigeria. The meeting with ECOWAS is expected to be held in the next few days. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Let's now take a look at sports news. Iceland defeated 5 Johnson 1-0 in the opener of the Sinchusori Sports Development Football Association tournament on Saturday at the community football field. Our sports reporter Momodu Gajaga was there and he now reports.
It was a game that had everything, including an exciting ending with this beautiful goal scored by Ibrahim Sanyang, who came in as a late substitute to give Iceland an important victory against their fierce rivals 5 Johnson. Alim Balo controlled the ball beautifully before Ibrahima to score what was the last kick of the game after many missed chances by both teams. This is how it felt for an excited Ibrahima Sanyang, who said how he helped his team to get off to a winning start to the season. I am very happy to be on the score sheet. I am also happy that I followed my coach's instructions, which paid off. I knew I would score, so it wasn't a surprise at all. Beautiful football and goal chances were in abundance from both sides. On some occasions, they only needed to beat the keeper to score, but were wasteful in front of goal. Despite playing with 10 men from the 20th minute mark, 5 Johnson showed resilience and determination. They were reduced to 10 men after Jere Marong was sent off for slapping his opponent. Ibrahim Sow, coach of Iceland FC, said his tactics worked.
At the camping ground, I tell them everything. If we win in the first half, it's for you, the players. Second half, I will come with my tactics as Pep Guardiola, as I call myself, is my mentor. I will win the second half. Yeah, that's it. I just was telling them that tempo, we need the tempo now. This is our time now.
Abdou Jallo, chairman of the Sinchusori Youth and Sports Development Association, said the competition is organized to give the players an opportunity to show their potential.
Amuñ dara sudut ñuy try nu ñoo développer ndaw yi fi so motax ñu ne ñun tamit ñu mëna bokk ci race bi.
We are trying to help the young footballers to showcase their talents so that we can compete with other zones. This football field was recently acquired and it's huge. We want to do a lot more. Alaji Jallo, who took the kickoff, was the competition sponsor. Henry Gomez was mentioned among the invited guests in attendance. Momodu Gajaga, QTV News.
Well, that's all we have for you on this news bulletin. Join us at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. Thanks for watching.